can you work in having a good relationship with yourself?
Work hard at it and we focus on it, that we can make it happen.
People who have accomplished great things did accomplish great things because they didn't give up.
Don't view it as a mission impossible. View everything as a mission possible.
Today, we have the great honor to have a very special guest. She's one of the most inspirational and successful women in the entertainment industry. She's the author of the best-selling book, Build an Empire, How to Have It All. She's also a businesswoman, an empire builder, event producer, mentor, public speaker, visionary, and she's the executive producer of massively successful event like 10X Lady. She has also been happily married to one of the most well-known entrepreneurs, Elena Cardone, and together they have built a portfolio of $2.8 billion. In other words, she's the mastermind who knows how to build an empire, and she even has her own show, Woman in Power. Welcome, Elena Cardone. It is a great honor and pleasure having you here today with us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. The honor is truly mine. Thank you.
It is an ongoing goal of ours to help and give back to our community.
We can say that you are the perfect example that we can have it all. A successful career, an amazing partner, beautiful kids, build a huge empire, and even the admiration of an entire community. You have proven that anyone can live the life of our dreams. So for you, Elena, what would you say are the main things that a person must do to have it all and build an empire like yours?
That's a loaded question. Okay, so I'd say the very first thing that you would have to do is start with a commitment. Decide that that's what you want, and then make a commitment to staying on the course. What's your purpose? What's the reason that you want to do this? And be committed. The next thing I would say is surround yourself with like-minded people who are going to hold you accountable, who are going to guide you away from weaknesses, steer you away from weaknesses, and push you to your strengths. So, and then thirdly, I would say it's sacrifice. You have to be willing to go into sacrifice phase. 1,000,000% you can have it all, but what are you willing to give up? Because if you can't be willing to give something up, you're going to have more of what you already have. So I can't get to another location unless I decide, make a commitment. I am going to leave this chair that I am very comfortable in, get up and walk to a new chair. That means I have to leave maybe some of these people behind that are like comfortable staying here, you know, who want me to stay the same because they love me just the way I am, or because they think I'm too busy, or when's enough. You know, if you want it all, you are going to have to take massive action. You're going to have to put certain procedures and plans into action. And sometimes that's a little ruffles the feathers, we say in America. It makes a lot of people uncomfortable who aren't willing to do the same. Surround yourself with people who want to achieve goals, who want to have success in their life.
And you mentioned in the book that if you're not trying to build an empire, you're actually destroying it. What does this mean?
It means that with every decision that you ever make, you're either creating an empire or destroying one. You're either creating or destroying. There's no in between. It's creating or destroying. So if you have a target, let's just say it's $1 million, okay? But the $1 million represents everything that you've done right and all the sacrifices, and that's the physical reward in the universe. It's like a Super Bowl ring. All of a sudden, if you're creating towards that, you're working, you're making moves, things are working, but you come home and you fight with your spouse every night. Now my attention is on here, not the million, not the target. Now my attention is off there, and now I'm in a battle here. So whatever you thought it was going to take you to get to the million, every time you deviate, you go off course to pursue distractions. That can be haters on social media, it can be fights with your friends, your family, your partners, whomever. Anytime that you go off there, know that you have to add time on the back end to the attainment of your goal, your $1 million. Exactly. So you're either creating or destroying. You're either creating or destroying something that could never have been, or you're actually creating what could truly be possible for you and your family.
And how would you describe the mentality of someone who is creating, maintaining, defending, and building an empire?
I would describe that person with, look, no one has built an empire alone. So if you're the solopreneur and you're some guy or girl that thinks you can do it all by yourself and you're going to do every role, you're not going anywhere. You're a hamster in a cage. You're never going to get to a heightened level of success. You need to have a team in place. You know, it might start with one person, one idea, but you don't build an empire with one person alone. So what I would tell that person is how to figure out how to work in a coordinated, collaborated effort with your partners, with your husband, with your, with the team members that you work with in business. How do you work together? Who does what? Work their jobs in order with the total goal to get y'all all to a heightened level of success. It doesn't just happen by chance. It has to be coordinated. You're in charge of accounting. You're in charge of marketing. You're in charge of running the family. You're in charge of making the executive business decision. I'm the boss of my role. He's the boss of his role. Everyone has to be trusted. I say, find the one you trust and build an empire. Everyone has to be trusted to do their roles efficiently, effectively, in order to move the entire cause forward. When you start getting everyone trying to cross and be the boss over here, and I'm the boss over here, and I'm a woman and I'm tough and you don't tell me nothing, that's when you get into trouble.
And when you're trying to build an empire in terms of decision making, I believe that being brave enough to take a decision and taking action is as important as knowing when not to take a decision and not to take action. How is your process when making a decision? Do you follow a certain steps? When making effective decisions, do you evaluate and identify your goal? How is your process?
No, I love that you say that because I talk about that a lot. People can measure my success because they can look at the businesses or a plane or 2 helicopters or whatever and say, oh, they're successful. But what they don't see behind all of that is, yes, there was a lot of things done right in those decisions, but there was a lot of decisions that were made to avoid getting into business with the wrong people. But you can never graph that because you can't see, because I turned Joe Blow down, you don't see the potential lawsuit or the stealing or the devastation that he could have caused me and set me back years because it never happened. So I'm glad that you mentioned that because a lot of people miss that point. But there's several things that I look for when we decide to collaborate with someone. The number one thing is the core values. I need to know their core values, and I don't listen to talk. I look at statistics and I look at their lives. Are they cheating on their husbands? Are they cheating on their wives? Because if they cheat on them, they're cheating on you. And it's not just physical cheating. Like, what are they doing at work? How do they operate? Are they at work, but like really on their own Facebook? Because that's a form of cheating too. You know what I'm saying? Like, are they accountable? Do they have courage, integrity, honor, truthful, ethics with their family? Are they beating their kids? Are they taking drugs? Are they excessive alcohol usage all the time? Are they drinking while they're driving? See, these are liabilities that I can't afford to have connected to my business. Exactly. I can't afford to have problems. So I look at these things, I read people, and even if the deal sounds really unbelievable and I'm dying to do it, I think it could make me a lot of money. If the person doesn't have the right integrity and the values that we hold ourselves up to,
you don't go that way.
It's a no-go.
And also there are a lot of people out there that are very talented, but they sabotage themselves because they don't believe in themselves. They feel insecure. They have a lot of self-doubt. What's the best way to gain confidence in order to accomplish our own goals?
Those people have 2 things going on. The people that don't have confidence tell me 2 things. You're surrounded by people who are suppressing you. That is not innately in us. We are not born to suppress ourselves and to make yourself feel bad. Children are alive, they're out, they're going for the world. You know, people are made to feel suppression. So when people feel that, there is a presence around them that is making them feel that way. And they have to identify who that is. What are the jabs? What are, the jabs?
Yes.
People do with a smile usually, and they're usually your best friend or somebody who's only trying to help, but you're working too much, or, you could lose all your money, or why would you do that? And, finally, when a good partner comes along, they want to backstab them and gossip about, they want to eliminate anything good that could be around you. Yeah. And encourage you to just have chaos in your mind. You have to identify that person. When I know my enemies and my haters, I know how to protect myself from them. But it's the people in your circle. It could be a family member. I hate to say it. I've had to eliminate certain things.
It happens, yeah.
I've had to say, look, you need to either respond to me in this way when I talk to you or tell you things, or you're not allowed to come around here anymore. Just because we're family, I don't owe you to you be able to kill my life and my dreams. Nobody kills my life and my dreams. Nobody. That they can do the most damage. They have access to your resources, your vulnerabilities, and then you're off in distraction land and not on the $1 million target. So the next thing, the number 2 about the confidence is, you need to take responsibility for your confidence. And how do you get it? You get confidence by doing what you say you're going to do. So if you don't have confidence, it tells me that too many times you have said you were going to do something and you didn't do it.
You didn't do it, exactly.
And now you've been telling yourself that story. I can't depend on myself. I don't trust myself. It's you. It's not the material that's letting you down. It's you. It's really simple to get confidence. You don't have to start by overwhelming yourself with so many projects. You just put a little system into place, a little schedule. Decide you're going to beat the sun up. I'm going to wake up before the sun. That's hard to do. It requires discipline. You do that. You make your bed every day. You drink your water. You eat a salad. You write your thing. I'm going to work out 4 days a week on this day. Boom, boom,
and
boom.
You do it.
And you do it. And when you start doing little actions over a consistent period of time long enough, all of a sudden you've told yourself, I said I was going to do something, I do it. I said I was going to do something, I do it. You tell yourself that over and over and over. And finally, now, not only do you believe it, but the people in your life believe it.
So
if they want something done, they know they're coming to you, because if you say you're going to do it, they know it's going to get done. And then when it expands out after that, all of a sudden the universe backs away from you. The universe stops messing with you, because the universe is like, I'm not messing with this person, because if she says she's going to do something, she's going to do it. So let me go pick on, the victim over here, where I can just, throw life at him and overwhelm him. She can withstand a hit.
That's true. And you're also an example that anyone can transform their life. You have built a huge empire, but it did not happen overnight. Let's talk about your beginnings. When you were living in New Orleans, from what I heard, you managed to turn your life around after making some bad decisions. You struggled with alcoholism and drugs, but you one day wake up and decided to do something meaningful and turn your life around. Can you tell us a little bit about those days and what made you change your life?
Yeah, those days were very dark and very painful, even though they had an apparency of oh my gosh, this is so much fun because it was wild and it was crazy. But it was really a lot of inner turmoil and pain and confusion, and a lot of highs and lows, and nothing steady, stable. And, there was a lot of self-sabotage back then. And, what I would do to my internal self, I would never treat another human being as disrespectfully and poorly as I had treated myself. And I had several cognitions. I did a lot of self-improvement courses, how to overcome ups and downs in life, a personal values and integrity course, a communication course. I started to do some self-enhancement, some self-education. And then I realized one day I needed to become my own best friend. I needed to not talk to myself internally the way that I was. And I just had to decide that even if that was going to go on, because I couldn't really like stop it, even if that was going to go on, it wasn't going to affect my actions. I was still going to stick to my plan. Still going to wake up before the sun. I was still going to make my bed. I was still going to drink. No matter what I was telling myself, you're going to fail. This is stupid. Why don't you quit? You're an idiot. You're stupid. Whatever. Like, let's just go party. Let's just go drink. Screw this. You need time to relax. You know, all that stuff. Yeah. I just said, I will allow that just to continue until eventually it gets tired. And I'm just going to keep doing my actions, you know, and I decided to stop doing any and all form of drugs in December 31st, 1999. So January 1st, 2000 forward, I even gave birth to 2 children naturally at my home. So
that's beautiful. Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's amazing. When you're transforming your life and when you're building an empire, there are always going to be hard days, days that will make you think, I want to quit. During those times, it's easy to get stuck on the little picture. A lot of people lose motivation because they're not seeing the results right away. Can you share with us an advice how to keep motivated when the path is not clear, and what are you going through a lot of obstacles?
I go through a lot of obstacles all the time now, you know. I get metaphorically punched a lot. I take a lot of hits. I go for big things and big opportunities, and sometimes they don't work out, and it's like, oh, why is it so hard? And it's frustrating. And sometimes, you know, I take public hits and I go, why am I doing this? I should shut the curtains. Who cares? Why am I exposing my life? Like, this is ridiculous. I don't need this. But what I do instead is I know my purpose, and my purpose is to help all the other little me's or all the other little people that were not supposed to make it or not supposed to figure some things out. I'm committed to, you know, I owe that to them and to myself if I can do it. So things don't always work out and things do look depressing sometimes. But I've learned that I make a list, and on those days in particular, I refer to the list, and I have so many actions, because usually I get really depressed if not a lot is going on. Usually I can take—
You're not taking action, you get depressed.
Yes.
Wow.
When I take a hit and I don't have enough going on, I get depressed and it like wants to stop me. When I take a hit and I have 15 other things going on, I take the hit, but I'm so busy working on the next thing that it rolls off. So I make a list in case I don't have a lot going on at that time. And it could be simple things like walk on the beach, go in the park, go outside, look at things, get your attention, look at this purse, look at the wall, look at the details, look at things. It gets you out of your head and out. It gets you out of your head and focusing on the world. That's a big help that I do. But I do other actions like clean my closet, organize, do something that immediately like gives you gratification, like, oh, that feels good, or that alleviated something.
Exactly. And you mentioned also that it's important to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. In other words, step out of your comfort zone. How do you manage the feelings of fear and feeling uncomfortable? Can you give us an example where you felt a little bit scared or uncomfortable and you overcome those feelings?
Yeah, almost every day of my life. I train Muay Thai, boxing, you know, elbows, knees, kicks. And I mean, if you don't know the sport, like the MMA world, it looks so much easier than it is. There's so much going on with turning the hips and the foot and getting the punch right and the turn. And, you know, look, I don't know if you could still see this. I'm recovering from a bruise on my finger. And it's not like this is not natural for me. I've never been in a fight in my life. I never, when I started this, I didn't know how to punch. So for me, I'm very uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable in the stance and the movement, but every single morning I show up for an hour and a half and I train because I know that I thrive when I get comfortable being uncomfortable. It gets me, it's a stress reliever, but it also is like, it gives me an opportunity to feel humiliated, embarrassed, like I don't want to do this, and I do it anyway. And then I go on a stage, and then that's like easy. You know, speaking in front of a stage of 10,000, I'm like, that's easy compared to trying to sit here and box and, you know, and I'm getting punched in the face. I've gotten a couple black eyes. I mean, you know, it's like, it just helps me with life. Like, okay, I've been uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable every morning of my life. And okay, so I didn't die. It's okay.
It's okay. And I heard you hate the word normal. Is it safe to say that in the Cardone house, nothing is average or ordinary? Why do you dislike the word normal?
I hate the word normal because it's an illusion. People get very comfortable being normal because everything is normal.
Exactly.
Until it's not. Normal can't withstand a hit. Normal cannot withstand an economic collapse. Normal cannot sustain somebody in your family getting sick, a job loss, COVID, you name it. Normal crumbles. If everything isn't exactly perfect and kosher and cool, normal, that illusion of normal is quicksand. The bottom falls out and it crumbles. It's not strong enough. Abundance in integrity and courage and in ethics and grit, in finances and resources. This is what makes survival possible. If the farmer and his family needed 12 crops to live off of for the entire year, and he only plants 12 crops, well, that's going to be all fine if the locusts don't come in, if there isn't a big storm that wipes out half of them. Now he's got 6, now he's starving. So the only thing that's going to ensure that farmer's survival is not normal. If he needs 12, he's got to have 100. So that when the storm comes and takes out 20, and then by the time all of the unpredictable life happens, he's left with 30, but he only needs 12. Guess what? Now, not only can he take care of his family, but he can help take care of his community.
And in terms of relationship, you and Grant have proven to be a great team, not only as couple, but also as business partner. Many couples don't dare to work together, but you guys did, and your guys are both very successful. How do you balance love and business?
Well, it's interesting because for me, love isn't normal to me either. I tried to play by these rules, like what you're supposed to do. And then I realized that, you know, I'm not normal. So why am I trying to do what normal people do to create love? Like I thought, okay, you're supposed to, like the guy is supposed to turn off his phone or his electronics, and we're supposed to watch a movie, and now we're supposed to be in love and happy. And that doesn't work for me. Like for me, love, the biggest act of love that I can show Grant is helping him achieve his goals. And the biggest act of love he can give me is helping me achieve my goals. Because when I achieve my goals and he's achieving his goals, I'm in love. I am happy. I am winning. And that makes me love him and vice versa even more, because like somebody helped me to become a better version of myself.
The best version of yourself. Exactly.
That's a big gift to give somebody, to allow them the space or whatever they need to be able to do that for themselves. So that's how we balance it. You know, we know our roles. Our roles are very specific in our relationship. And, you know, clearly he's the boss of business. He knows what he's doing. And I don't need to pretend like I know more than him in that area. So he gets to run the show in that area. I applaud him. He doesn't let me down. He is trusted in that role.
You run the show in other areas as well.
I run the show in the other areas. Yes, everything with the household, the kids.
Exactly. And the more successful you become, the more requests, favor, petitions people will ask for you. And some people believe that just because you're rich, you have to say yes to many things. However, saying no and setting boundaries is really important. How can we learn to say no and set up those boundaries?
It's very easy for us. We're very clear as to where we're going, what our purpose is. So if the thing that comes at me doesn't fit in that lane, it's not going to get attention. I don't get distracted, and I don't have a lot of loaf time. We don't get a lot of just hang out time. Like, I don't want to just hang out time. That bores me. I'm not normal. Like, I don't like to just hang out and do nothing and have small talk with friends. Like, that's exhausting to me. It's exhausting to me. I only want to hang out with people that I'm collaborating with, I'm working with. That energizes me. It fuels me. I'm excited. Like, that's what gets me going, So I don't need like friends to just hang out with and pass time with. My time is too valuable. My goals are so big and so unattainable that if I even do that for a little bit, which isn't fun for me anyway, it sets me back. Yeah. It sets me back from my target. So I don't do things that aren't going to work with my purpose.
Exactly. And I personally believe that everybody has a purpose here on earth. What would you say is your main purpose, and how would you like to be remembered?
I want to be known as not only the woman behind the man, but I want to be the woman behind thousands and thousands and thousands of people. My superhero is I'm an empire builder. I can visualize, support, and put in infrastructure, procedures, and programs to where the people who go out there and are the hammers and the builders and are willing to do the work, I can give them the infrastructure and the support they need to blow the fire on their flame to help them get up to that heightened level of success. So that's what I want to do for millions of people around the world, not thousands.
Millions. That's amazing.
Millions. I was thinking too small, see?
Trillions.
I'm constantly working on myself every day.
Exactly. And in terms of money, what are the most common limiting beliefs you have heard about money, and how can we make that shift in our mind to start thinking that we are capable of making billions and thinking big?
Anyone that doesn't have money has considerations and wrong data about money, because like they say, knowledge is power. What if you had the wrong knowledge? What if you had knowledge that was intentionally implanted into you by society to keep you small and suppressed? So think about that. So one of the biggest ones that you always hear, and it's very cliche, but like money is evil, or it's wrong, or it's bad. There's this very negative association around money. And so I always say, if you have that, you will never have money, ever, period. Because man is basically good. So why would you want to become evil? No one wants to become evil. Even people didn't want to become evil. Something happened that made them evil, but nobody wants that. So if you have that money is evil, or that rich people are greedy, or whatever the thoughts that you have, do you understand? You will only be able to get a certain amount of money wherever you think is that point where you can still have enough and not become evil. But the tipping point, you will never be able to go above that, because something will happen to make you lose it, so you build it up. So you'll never go past that point. So you will create the thing, but it'll look like something else. It'll look like you got fired. It will look like so-and-so needed money because unfortunately their kid got cancer. Something will always happen to push you down from not getting up higher. So I would write down all of the considerations that you have about money, including, well, I can't make the money, my husband makes the money, or, it's hard, it's difficult, it's not there. Write it all down, and then go back to the list and just be open to the possibility of another way. So if money makes you greedy, just be open to the possibility that money could be an opportunity to be more generous. Just be open to the possibility, even if it doesn't feel real. Like, same thing with a man, Before I was with Grant, I always thought guys hold me back in life.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. I mean, I was like, guys hold me back from my career. This was like in my 20s. I was an actress, I was modeling.
And a lot of women think that way. A lot of successful women, yeah.
I know. And I thought I had to be this independent, powerful woman, never depend on a man. So every guy that I had dated, I always picked the guy that proved me right, that would eventually like always try to hold me down, like needed too much, never had, you know, I was always supporting them. They never had money, you know, but they constantly made me right. They were like doing the script, the movie script that I had written in my mind. They were just characters that I had cast in my movie of life.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then one day I looked at it and I said, and I didn't believe it. I didn't believe it at the time, but I said, I'm just going to be open to the possibility that there is one man out there that instead of holding me down could actually lift me up, that could actually help me get from the point I can't get higher all by myself. But from that point, he can push me to a heightened level. And it seemed very unreal at the time, but I said, I'm just going to be open to that idea. There's like 7 billion people on planet Earth. Maybe there's one that could actually do it.
And you find it. You attracted it.
Almost immediately. Almost immediately. It was a complete shift in mind change. And it was taking responsibility that all those previous relationships, that didn't happen to me. That was created because of me.
Wow.
And I took responsibility for that and decided I was going to change that story so it wasn't going to continuously happen to me for the rest of my life. And then also, you know, not ever depending on a man. I had to overcome that. Why? Why can't I depend on a man?
Exactly.
I depend on my nanny to take care of my children when I'm not able. I depend on Johnny, the camera guy, to get the cameras up and running so we can have this interview. Why can't I depend on my man, the man that I'm married, that I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with? Why can't I depend on him? Like, does that make me some weak woman? Like, I really had to look at these crazy things that I was thinking. It's psychotic. I'm like, no, I can depend on him. He's going to run the business. He's going to do what I tell him.
Exactly. And vice versa, he can depend on you as well in other areas. Yeah.
Exactly. But men, I don't think have the problem as much as women, because men aren't, in my hypnosis, I could be wrong, in my observation, I don't see men going around, I got to prove myself. I got to be this independent man. They'll depend on you. They'll use anyone to help them get to where they have to go.
Exactly.
Women don't do that. We stop ourselves. We say we have to do it all on our own, and we're left not like making progress. They're probably looking at us like, are you a bunch of idiots? I think in that regard, we have something to learn from them in that area.
And how important is, Elena, to invest in ourselves in order to be successful? In what ways do you invest in yourself?
I did a lot of self-education, like I talked about earlier. I'm learning Spanish, I'm training MMA, I self-educate all the time. I mean, it's crucial. I'm on this whole eating program. I want to get really fit and strong. And so I'm always investing in myself. I have to be optimum. I'm trusted. I'm depended upon, not just by my husband and my children, but by a lot of other people to operate at a very high, efficient level. So I have to invest in myself. I get, those vitamin IV packs once a month, like I have to take care of myself. I have to make sure that my physical body can sustain the amount of energy that I put through it, with the life force that I have going on. So, I mean, it's very important. I can't take care of anybody else if I can't handle myself first.
Exactly. And to finish, could you please share with us one last advice that you would like the world to know about the importance of building an empire?
This is what I want people to know about the importance of building an empire, that you were born for greatness, and you not going for an empire is not only a disservice to yourself and to your family, but it is an extreme disservice to me, because your products and services could be the one thing that I needed to make my life better. But because you didn't have the courage or the audacity, or you let somebody else hold you down and you succumbed and you stopped, you prevented me. And I like to think of myself as a good person. You prevented a good person from being blessed, from having you exchange your greatness with mine. So that's why I say it's very important to build an empire. It's not about you. It's about you making a difference for people like me.